This has been a long time coming. So I started my journey back in November of 2021, and this gun's seen some things.
Bang bang!
So if the reason you're here today is to hear whether or not I recommend the Tokyo Marui MWS, the answer really is buy one today. Buy as many as you can get your dirty little hands on. These things are great and they're an absolute pleasure to shoot. Now, if you're here to understand what it's like owning one of these guns, maintaining it, recommendations when you purchase one of these things, and just kind of the day-to-day life of using this on like a weekly basis, this video is for you. So this gun started life as an M4A1 SOP mod MWS. So it had the CAC rail with the fixed front sight. Right off the bat, immediately chucked that in the bin, slapped on a Mark 16 rail, and pretty much replaced all the furniture right away. For most of its life, it's lived as a Mark 16 URGI. Some tweaks here and there, charging handles, optics, etc. But largely it's been set up in this configuration for the last better part of a year now, and haven't really changed much. I'll go over what I've done in terms of modifications to the internals to make this thing run. Really, it's very minimal. If you're just gonna use some regular old 2.5s, skirmish on the weekends, don't really care about squeezing every little ounce of accuracy out of this thing and just want it to run, all you need to do is replace the spring in the bolt here. Super common failure point, everybody knows about it. Pick up like a T8 spring. I have a Dytac spring in here. Get some spares just in case, run green gas, and you should be good to go. Now, if you're trying to squeeze a little bit more accuracy out of this, you want this to reach out and touch somebody 200 feet away, go with a heavier weight BB. A new barrel isn't necessary, it's nice to have. It ups your FPS a little bit to get you a little bit closer to 350 FPS. I'd recommend putting in a Laylax or a Dytac solid aluminum arm. And then I have a PDI W-hold bucking in this thing, and it just beams out, not a problem, can hit pretty much anything within 200 feet, and all the way out to 100 yards, but obviously at that point you're kind of lobbing it in. So what else have I done to this MWS? I've gone ahead and added a bad lever to it. In order to get that to run, I did need to put in a lightweight Z plate. I use the Howe version. It gives you a little bit more travel as well in terms of before the bolt catches. That way you ensure you get solid bolt lock all the time. Put on a GNP QD end plate, pretty simple, castle nut, unscrew the buffer tube, slap it on, screw it all back together. That's all good to go. What I've done with the buffer tube, it still has the stock plastic buffer in there, but what I did was I turned the buffer tube in one rotation because the green gas does overcome that secondary spring in the buffer fairly quickly. And then you end up knocking your bolt carrier on the back of the receiver. I'll put some pictures of some of the indents in the receiver there. And I also replaced the outer barrel with a Dytac outer barrel. Make sure you keep that brass collar from the original and just transfer that over to any aftermarket barrels. No adapters needed for this AEG spec rail. It threads right on. This is a Howe AEG rail, and then it didn't need an adapter. You just put that all together. Most of the aftermarket outer barrels are going to fit AEG rails. And that's it really. From the setup portion of this MWS, how to get it to just run on green gas. Just take the spring out, replace that, and probably just turn the buffer in one turn, and then you're good to go. This thing has seen a lot of rounds. I think I've put at least 20,000, if not 30,000 BBs through this gun. It's run like a top. It's really taken care of me. It's probably been the most reliable airsoft gun that I've ever owned. And like every game, we probably go through at least 10, if not 12 magazines, depending. I get a jam here and there with some of the older mags that get a little bit worn out. And really all you need to do is just keep some extra routers on hand, keep some extra feed lips on hand, T8, make some good stuff that you can just kind of drop in, no problem. In terms of the magazines, what I've done is modified them, green gas modified them. But because I live in California, it doesn't really get that cold. I think the lowest that I've run this gun at is about 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and it ran no problem on one fill. What I did was I cut the silver tube in half and have never had a problem. Never, not once. Feeds all 35 rounds every time, regardless of weather. I've also been recently testing out a drum magazine, and I gotta say, I had my doubts. There's a lot of people that's saying it's no good. I've modified it a little bit just to get a better seal with the router and the actual internal seals as well, because they were leaking when I got it. But other than that, runs great. It's very consistent, and I was very surprised by that from a drum magazine. Even after like long strings of fire, it's still plus or minus 5 to 10 FPS. And it really doesn't affect the BB accuracy at all. So I was really pleased with that. Another review will be coming out once I get some more time on that, but so far, so good. So I actually even have a second Tokyo Marui MWS. I bought the second one. It started life as an M4 carbine with just the, OG furniture, the smooth rail. Again, immediately chucked the front end, immediately got rid of all the furniture. I bought it just in case my first one went down. That never happened. This has just kind of been sitting. What I've done to it is I have modified the FPS. I put a Poseidon ice pick valve in there. I put in a longer inner barrel. This thing is shooting on green gas at like 70 degrees ambient, anywhere from 420 to 440 FPS. So this is basically my DMR setup. I can also take this bolt out and drop it down into my 10.5 inch, and it's actually going to shoot about 400 FPS. It's really great to have a second one just in case something happens. Haven't really needed to do anything, knock on wood here. But yeah, so this is my DMR setup, and this thing will reach out to 100 feet, or 100 yards rather, no problem. All day, every day with some 4.8s. This thing will freaking beam. So yeah, these are my Tokyo Marui MWS rifles. Really no issues whatsoever. They've been extremely reliable. Never really had a problem. Other than that, the only thing I want to kind of consider here for you guys is spare parts availability, upgrades, things of that nature. I will say this, the only thing that kind of sucks is that a lot of the cool stuff is overseas. So if you want to get gas blowback parts, they're slowly moving over. I've seen more and more stuff showing up at like sites like Evike and just different retailers in the United States. So as a US based airsofter, it is a bit difficult at times to find the right thing if you want to change something out for something very specific, but it is out there. It's a pretty well supported platform. Obviously, Tokyo Marui kind of sets the standard for a lot of things. Yeah, no, I've had nothing but good things to say about this gun. Almost too reliable that it gets boring, right? You're used to things just breaking down on you. But no, it's been an amazing, piece of kit. I really do recommend that if you get a chance, test one out or buy one. It's well worth the money. I know $600 plus tax, depending on where you live, is a lot of money, but it's really changed the game for me. I was getting bored of airsoft. I've been playing for about 9 years now, and going on 10 almost now. And this really kind of relit that fire. We run a squad now with just nothing but MWSs. So from a sample standpoint, I think throughout the group we have 8 or 9 Tokyo Marui MWS is running like tops. Just a testament. I know some people say, hey, you know, sample size, you only have one or two. Like, no, we've bought them from different retailers. They come in, Airsoft GI, E-Vike, JK Army, like just a bunch of different places. And they've all had zero issues. They're running great. So highly recommend this gun. Can't say enough good things about it. And you know, if you get the chance or you save up the money, like it's well worth it. It's gonna treat you right. So that's all I gotta say here, guys. I appreciate you watching the video. Go ahead and give it a like, subscribe if this content's helpful. I really want to continue to make this stuff for you. Yeah, just let me know. And yeah, if there's any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. And hey, if you stay till the end of the video here, I appreciate you. I'll leave you the quick nugget of us shooting all the MWSs, the Type 89, the AKM, and the M4, even the Mark 18. And so, yeah, it's just us having a fun time.
I think I got him. Chris got him. Chris got him.
Shoot, shoot.
All right. Push up to Chris. Push up to Chris. On your 6?
Yep.
Go, go, go. Yep. Where are they at? I see him. I see him. Car. White car. White car.